Continuing from the previous chapter, as Xiao Yan unleashed the terrifying lotus of desolation towards the dragon soul, even the dragon soul, who loved flames, couldn't help but feel a shiver run down its spine in the face of such terrifying fiery energy. Boom, boom, boom. Terrifying waves of energy rippled through the entire space. Strangely, however, the lotus of desolation passed right through the dragon soul. Damn it! How is this possible? Xiao Yan's pupils narrowed tightly. As he controlled the lotus of desolation to attack the dragon soul, he was shocked to see it pass straight through its body. This was something unheard of. There was no time to ponder. Facing the dragon soul's powerful counterattack, since the lotus of desolation was ineffective, Xiao Yan decided to exhaust the dragon soul with his soul power. Though he was puzzled, Xiao Yan couldn't help but admire the dragon soul's tenacity. Despite his relentless, high-frequency soul attacks, the dragon soul, although grimacing in pain, remained uninjured throughout. Its resilience was truly exceptional. In fact, Xiao Yan was unaware of one crucial detail. The dragon soul was a soul entity that had cultivated for thousands of years. If it still had its physical form, its strength would rival that of a human Do Xian expert. Unfortunately, its physical body was destroyed 1,000 years ago by some powerful being. Even so, its strength remained formidable, and within its soul sea, it was slowly developing a slight immunity to soul attacks under Xiao Yan's continuous assault. Thus, despite being struck by Xiao Yan's soul power, the dragon soul gradually became less fearful of the attacks. The dragon soul's entire body was submerged in flames, slowly absorbing the immense fiery do qi from the volcano below to heal some of its wounds. Seeing Xiao Yan, his body wrapped in milky white flames, descending towards the crater below, the dragon soul laughed loudly. "Human, you are doomed. No one can survive in here. Even I can't linger too long. Otherwise, I too would be refined by this Earth's core fire. Haha, you are finally facing inevitable death. Ha 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 ha." The space echoed with triumphant laughter, filling every corner and concealing everything within. The dragon soul laughed wildly, reveling in the destruction of its enemy, even in its heavily wounded state. How could it not be pleased? In midair, the dragon soul's massive, dozens of meters long body floated with pride. At this moment, it had once again returned to its original state, freely soaring in the sky. Could it really be an indestructible divine being? Otherwise, how could it recover time and time again? Below, amidst the blinding flames, nothing could be seen. Xiao Yan's body had been obscured by the fire, leaving everyone wondering whether he was alive or dead. Within the secret realm, Xiao Yan was hidden in the sea of flames, his entire body disappearing into the blazing inferno. The surrounding high temperatures were enough to destroy all living beings. In this environment, even though Xiao Yan's body was enveloped in milky white flames, in an instant, he was drenched in sweat, and the moisture immediately evaporated. After a brief hesitation, Xiao Yan steadied himself, enduring the scorching heat. His soul power surged forth, carefully probing the surroundings of the volcano's crater. Meanwhile, the dragon soul was still laughing triumphantly above, but Xiao Yan paid it no mind, his thoughts racing as he considered his next move. Xiao Yan recalled that his master, the Golden Dragon King, had once said that places of extreme cold and extreme heat were both incredibly dangerous and rare treasures for cultivators. Cultivating in such places could yield rapid progress far superior to other locations. However, they were also fraught with danger. For those without sufficient cultivation, the risk of greedily seeking rapid improvement was high, potentially leading to a path of no return or falling into an endless abyss. At this moment, Xiao Yan found himself in such a place, prompting him to consider his options carefully. Xiao Yan understood that his cultivation level had reached a saturation point, making any significant advancement or breakthrough in a short period nearly impossible. The only way to quickly elevate his cultivation was to find some unique places and harness extraordinary powers. With this realization, Xiao Yan decided to take a chance, so he didn't leave immediately. Around Xiao Yan, 22 colored flames flickered slowly as the flame mantra began to operate within him. Streams of searing flames emerged from Xiao Yan's body, converging upon him. The activation of the flame mantra caused all the flames around the crater to converge towards him at varying speeds. Xiao Yan's aura expanded tremendously as he absorbed the intense flames around him at the fastest pace, fully fortifying his strength. Due to the overwhelming brightness of the flames, which were so dazzling that it was difficult to keep one's eyes open, the dragon soul hadn't noticed any changes around Xiao Yan. At this point, in its perception, Xiao Yan must have already been consumed by the flames, gradually turning to ash and vanishing from this world forever. The dragon soul floated quietly in midair, laughing wildly, extremely pleased. Today, it had finally killed a human, avenging the torment it had endured for so many years. While frantically absorbing the nearby fiery energy, it channeled the flames into its body, refining them along the cultivation path of the flame mantra to quickly merge them with its own Do Qi. Xiao Yan was multitasking in this manner to quickly bring his flame mantra to full saturation. Time passed quickly, and the dragon soul, noticing the intense heat from the crater below, didn't dare to act rashly. Fully convinced that Xiao Yan was doomed, it decided to leave. The dragon soul's body slowly ascended, preparing to return to its previous resting place and gradually fall back into a slumber. But at that moment, the dragon soul suddenly sensed a powerful aura emanating from below, causing it to be greatly shocked. The dragon soul's large eyes flickered with disbelief. By now, Xiao Yan could no longer feel the intense heat, as he had absorbed the flames from below and achieved a resonance. At this moment, he appeared like a spirit of fire, free and unrestrained within the flames. His body slowly rose from the flames, and in his left hand, the flames on the ancient ruler of heavenly flames grew even more brilliant. Under his feet, a mass of fire, like a red lotus pedestal, slowly lifted him upwards, creating a beautiful spectacle. Xiao Yan didn't glance at the dragon soul above. Instead, his eyes were firmly fixed on an ancient sword embedded in the stone wall. He reached out with his right hand and grabbed the sword, immediately feeling an intense heat. Xiao Yan smiled faintly, remembering that this sword had been baked by high temperatures here for thousands of years. Naturally, it was incredibly hot, but this level of heat was nothing to him. Examining the sword carefully, it was a long, slender blade with a flowing, translucent red glow that was exceptionally beautiful. The hilt and the blade were seamlessly forged, the material unknown, and its original color unidentifiable. On the guard was an unusual pattern that deeply attracted Xiao Yan's attention. The pattern looked like a totem, quite peculiar and rare, making it impossible to discern what it depicted. On the other side of the hilt was a delicate engraving resembling a small dragon. Xiao Yan murmured to himself softly, "I didn't expect this to be the immortal sword." As soon as he finished speaking, the immortal sword in his hand suddenly emitted a dazzling light, shining brightly for a moment before disappearing. Xiao Yan felt a surge of joy in his heart and smiled, saying, "I didn't expect you to have your own consciousness. You truly are a fine immortal sword." As he spoke, a surge of immense milky white flame energy poured into the sword. The sword instantly emitted a thunderous sword cry, followed by a burst of red light, making the surrounding area glow intensely. This is... Upon hearing the sword's cry, the dragon soul's body trembled slightly, and a hint of fear surfaced in its heart. Even after 1,000 years, it could never forget that haunting sound. For 1,000 years, it had always been wary of this sword, never daring to approach it. Who would have thought that not only did Xiao Yan survive the flames below, but he also obtained this sword? This was truly uncanny. This sword seems to be missing something. Xiao Yan also sensed carefully, realizing the sword was indeed lacking in some aspects. With the ancient ruler of heavenly flames in his left hand, and the immortal sword with the dragon-engraved hilt in his right, Xiao Yan noticed something peculiar. The immortal sword seemed to fear his ancient ruler of heavenly flames. This was something unheard of. The sword with the dragon-engraved hilt in his hand was an immortal sword. Even if one were to concede, this sword was forged by a Do Xian expert and imbued with some powerful auras from the Do Xian's use. Xiao Yan's body quickly emerged from the flames below and appeared in front of the Dragon Soul. With a cold smile, he said, "Dragon Soul, I'm not dead yet. Why are you in such a hurry to leave? That's not very polite, is it? Besides, our business isn't finished. I told you, if you try any tricks, I won't let you off easily." With a wave of the ancient ruler of heavenly flames in his hand, 100-foot-long beam of milky white flame burst forth, sweeping directly toward the Dragon Soul's phantom form. Xiao Yan sneered as his immense soul power simultaneously surged, striking the Dragon Soul instantly. The Dragon Soul's body flashed red and quickly shrank into a red ball of light about the size of a ruler. It formed an extremely powerful dragon aura around itself, tightly encasing it within. The entire light sphere rotated rapidly, its surface emitting a strange red glow that reflected much of Xiao Yan's soul power back. Xiao Yan's eyes grew cold as he instantly appeared beside the Dragon Soul. Looking at the ruler-sized light sphere, Xiao Yan smiled arrogantly. "You're courting death. Do you think this is enough?" The immortal sword in Xiao Yan's hand suddenly hovered in midair, and a pure white light flashed from his right hand. It was the divine motion, natal inscription. Once again, the divine motion inscription was deployed, firmly encasing the light sphere in pure white light. Immediately, two opposing forces, one red and one white, began clashing with all their might. Hidden within the light sphere, the Dragon Soul shouted, "Human, you can't kill me. I have long been immortal. Don't dream about it. When your dochi runs out, that will be your end. Although your mysterious attack power is formidable and enigmatic, it alone cannot destroy me. You're just wasting your time." Xiao Yan sneered, "Then watch closely and see if my dochi is sufficient to refine your soul." After speaking, Xiao Yan's vast dochi surged even further, with the milky white flames masking the offensive of the divine motion, natal inscription. The divine motion, natal inscription emitted a formless, pure white force that directly attacked the Dragon Soul, causing it to react as if it were under a lethal assault. The red light sphere was completely engulfed, with not a hint of red visible. At this moment, Xiao Yan stood motionless in midair, with milky white flames and pure white light flickering between his hands. The sound of the Dragon Soul's anguished screams and occasional pleas for mercy came from within, but Xiao Yan remained indifferent. Gradually, the black glow shrank, eventually becoming a tiny red sphere the size of a thumb. Xiao Yan withdrew the divine motion, natal inscription and calmly observed the red, swirling ball of light, the Dragon Soul's essence. He softly said, "I initially intended to refine your Dragon Soul, to make you vanish forever. But considering you've been trapped here for 1,000 years and have cultivated so arduously, it would be a shame to destroy you. So, I'm giving you a choice. Back then, that senior tried to seal you in this sword as a sword spirit. Now, I will complete what they couldn't, sealing you within this divine sword. I believe it won't disgrace you. Do you choose to follow my decision, or do you accept being refined by me?" The Dragon Soul's voice sounded weak and somewhat resigned. "I truly hate you humans. I never expected to encounter a young man like you with such mysterious powers. It's truly lamentable. Perhaps this is fate. Since it's something I cannot change, I will submit to your arrangement." The voice was filled with unwillingness and a sense of loss. These things, of course, were taught to Xiao Yan by his master, the Golden Dragon King. The Dragon Soul is indeed quite afraid of spiritual power. Xiao Yan smiled faintly and did not strike the divine sword in his left hand, but instead slapped the ancient ruler of heavenly flames in his right. According to his master, the Golden Dragon King, the ancient ruler of heavenly flames was undoubtedly much stronger than the immortal sword. With Xiao Yan's strike, a red light flashed on the ancient ruler of heavenly flames, and the flowing milky white flames on it formed a gap. A red ball of light quickly merged into it, and the glow instantly returned to normal. Xiao Yan ran his middle finger along the edge of the ruler, and immediately a flash of blood appeared. The ancient ruler of heavenly flames in his hand erupted with a brilliant radiance, and a thunderous dragon's roar reverberated across the four directions. The ancient ruler of heavenly flames floated into the air on its own, and in midair, a crimson dragon silhouette suddenly shot out from the divine sword, roaring long into the sky as it spiraled and danced. After flying around for a while, the dragon soul then returned to the ancient ruler of heavenly flames. The ruler lost its glow and slowly fell back into Xiao Yan's hand. Xiao Yan glanced at the ancient ruler of heavenly flames. It seemed unchanged from before, except now a lifelike giant dragon coiled around the body of the ruler. Xiao Yan smiled faintly and said softly, "Dragon soul, just stay inside peacefully. I've sealed you with a blood curse. You won't be able to break free. I acknowledge that your cultivation wasn't easy, so I didn't want to destroy your consciousness. I preserved your will. Take care to behave yourself." These words were, of course, spoken from Xiao Yan's perspective. "Now, I want to ask you, how can I leave this place? I believe you must know quite a bit about that, right?" Xiao Yan asked as he surveyed the surroundings, finding no way out. His tone carried a calm confidence. The dragon soul's unwilling voice responded, "Even if you have sealed me here, you still can't escape. For 1,000 years, I've tried countless ways, but none succeeded. You will also fail. I can remain here without dying, but your physical body is here. Without sustenance, you won't last long. You might as well wait here to die." There was a trace of resentment in its tone. "Oh, is that so?" As he spoke, Xiao Yan directed his spiritual energy towards the ancient ruler of heavenly flames. No. Stop. I'll talk." The dragon soul's voice emerged from the ancient ruler of heavenly flames. Seeing Xiao Yan withdraw his attack, the dragon soul continued, "You do keep your word. Very well, I will take you there. However, that place is quite peculiar. It's hard to describe exactly where it is. After all, there's no clear sense of north, south, east, or west in this space. Even if I wanted to explain, I wouldn't know how, and you might not understand anyway." Xiao Yan chuckled. "All right, then just lead the way." With that, he temporarily put away the immortal sword, holding the ancient ruler of heavenly flames. He stepped into the air and followed the direction indicated by the dragon soul. After flying for a long time, Xiao Yan finally arrived at a strange place. Upon reaching this place and sensing the vastness of the space, Xiao Yan couldn't help but sigh. This space is so large. That senior must have gone to great lengths to create such a space. Of course, a Docian expert could already create a small world or plane. The area created is about 1/10 the size of your Do-Chi continent. The voice of Xiao Yan's master, the Golden Dragon King, also sounded in his mind. Hearing this, Xiao Yan was overjoyed. Ever since his master, the Golden Dragon King, entered this secret realm, he had seemed distracted, as if something here was drawing his attention. Xiao Yan hadn't dared to disturb him, but now, it seemed things were resolved, as his master had proactively contacted him. "Master, what exactly is this dragon soul?" Xiao Yan muttered softly. This dragon soul could be a very capable assistant, though it is far too arrogant and unruly. When it finally submits to you willingly in the future, it will be a tremendous help," the Golden Dragon King chuckled. Hearing this, Xiao Yan also understood that the dragon soul possessed formidable strength. If not for his master, the Golden Dragon King, revealing to him that spiritual power was the dragon soul's nemesis, it likely wouldn't have been so easy to succeed. Though the dragon soul remained defiant, it was now sealed within the ancient ruler of heavenly flames as a ruler spirit. Xiao Yan was confident that, over time, it would gradually submit to him. With the dragon soul now serving as the ruler spirit of the ancient ruler of heavenly flames, Xiao Yan realized that even a full-force attack from a standard 4-star Do-Di expert wouldn't dare to confront it head-on. This was an unexpected boon for Xiao Yan. However, Xiao Yan also noticed that his master, the Golden Dragon King, seemed to have discovered something within this secret realm, as his soul power had significantly increased. "Master, your strength?" Xiao Yan said aloud. This secret realm is indeed a great place. The dragon aura from the dragon soul over these millennia has helped restore much of my power," the Golden Dragon King replied with a chuckle. Ever since he was severely injured by the extraterrestrial evil clan, his soul strength had greatly diminished. But now, It seemed something in this secret realm had allowed his master to regain his strength. This so-called dragon aura was a unique energy specific to the dragon clan used for cultivation. After a brief moment of thought, Xiao Yan began to carefully examine his surroundings. It's ironic how none of them succeeded, but I, who stumbled in here by chance, ended up with a great advantage. It's quite marvelous. Xiao Yan thought to himself, Dragon Soul, it seems there's something hidden here. An invisible barrier separating us from that tricolored light. The entire space was shrouded in darkness, except for the glowing crater of the volcano, and a peculiar blend of blue, red, and gold light, which seemed quite mysterious. It resembled a mirror, about 10 feet in size, standing quietly in the void, emitting a faint glow. The flow of colored light moved gently, beautifully serene. The dragon soul spoke softly. Indeed, there is an invisible barrier here, separating us from that tricolored light. I've tried countless times over the years, but never succeeded. I've lost all hope of getting out of here. However, 2 of the 3 who lived to escape did so from here. I don't know exactly how they escaped. Perhaps there is some hidden secret here. Xiao Yan furrowed his brow and said lightly, Just because you couldn't do it doesn't mean I can't. I'm going to give it a try now. As he spoke, Xiao Yan had already used his spiritual power to carefully examine the barrier. His findings suggested that this barrier was indeed peculiar. Under Xiao Yan's spiritual scrutiny, it seemed that the barrier contained 3 distinct types of energy, harmonizing together to form this unique barrier. Passing through this barrier isn't particularly difficult. Though these 3 energies are different, one of them has a fire attribute. So, if you envelop yourself in heavenly flame, it's much easier to break through, the Golden Dragon King suggested. Upon hearing this, Xiao Yan understood. After all, he had already sensed it during his inspection. Xiao Yan then adjusted the flames around his body to a certain frequency and gently approached the barrier. At this moment, Xiao Yan's body was enveloped in milky white flames, making him appear like a flame-possessed being, without any trace of a human form. As soon as he came into contact with the barrier containing 3 different forces, Xiao Yan noticed that the energies within were extremely powerful, far exceeding the strength of Wu Jiang, whom he had previously encountered. He then focused his mind and carefully began to pass through. With his body enveloped in milky white flames, Xiao Yan easily passed through the barrier that the dragon soul had considered formidable. It seemed to Xiao Yan to be a trivial matter, accomplished with ease. Though he passed through the invisible barrier with apparent ease, it had actually cost him considerable energy. However, to maintain his prestige in front of the dragon soul, he smiled and said, Dragon soul, I've passed through. It wasn't as difficult as you claimed. Now you see, there is a difference between us. What you can't do, I can. Isn't that right? Take this tricolored barrier, for example. Do you understand what it signifies? The dragon soul responded in a deep voice. Don't get too cocky. It just means you're lucky, or maybe it's because you're human. Xiao Yan smiled slightly and said softly, Dragon soul, I've already come through. Whether you accept it or not doesn't matter. Now, just stay quietly inside. When I have time, I'll check on you. As he finished speaking, the ancient ruler of heavenly flames shone brightly. Not giving the dragon soul a chance to speak, Xiao Yan quickly attached it to his back and shot outwards. Xiao Yan murmured to himself, I have no idea how long I've been here. I can't sense any trace of Yuru and the others. After speaking, his eyes flashed, and his body transformed into a streak of green light. At the same time, the milky white flames on his body burst forth with a red glow, and the intense light forced countless specters in the cave to flee in fear. Xiao Yan's gaze returned to the cave. He remembered being sucked into the secret realm by a black beam of light outside the coffin. Now that he had emerged from the secret realm, he slowly approached the coffin on the side. What could be inside this thing? Xiao Yan said with anticipation, grinning. Step by step, he moved towards the coffin at the center of the chamber. Along the way, he kept his body wrapped in heavenly flame. The terrifying energy of the milky white flames lit up the previously pitch-dark chamber with a brilliant light. When Xiao Yan approached the coffin earlier, the black beam of light around it had already disappeared without a trace. Now just a few steps away from the coffin, Xiao Yan noticed that it seemed quite ordinary. However, it was precisely this ordinary appearance that made Xiao Yan extremely cautious. Dragon Soul, what's inside this coffin? Xiao Yan asked as he removed the ancient ruler of heavenly flames from his back and addressed the dragon soul sealed within it. How would I know what's inside? The secret realm I was in only had two exits, one in the third layer of the forest of EngSubs, and the other is here. The dragon soul replied, clearly displeased. Seeing this, Xiao Yan put away the ancient ruler of heavenly flames and cautiously approached the coffin. Meanwhile, in the third layer of the forest of EngSubs, within a rather exquisite cave, a handsome man sat on a stone seat, gazing curiously at the sky. It was already nighttime, with the moon hanging in the sky. Oddly, this cave, despite its refined design, had no visible openings. So how could moonlight shine in? The man wore a snow-white long robe, which accentuated his figure perfectly. Upon closer inspection, one would notice that although he was a man, his delicate features were strikingly handsome, rarely found even among women. Boom, boom, boom. The man lay quietly under the moonlight when suddenly, a piercing noise drew his attention. How could this be? Someone actually entered the secret realm, he said in surprise. With a wave of his hand, a white beam of light appeared before him, showing an image of a man with a heavy ruler on his back. It turns out a human subdued it. For thousands of years, I've tried numerous times to enter, yet I've never succeeded. Who would have thought? The man laughed and then transformed into a streak of light, disappearing. Back in the chamber, Xiao Yan stood before the coffin, hesitating to reach out. The coffin had remained still and undisturbed all this time, which seemed too unnatural, causing Xiao Yan to pause. Don't worry, no matter what happens, I am here. As long as I draw breath, you won't be in any danger, his master, the Golden Dragon King, reassured him. Xiao Yan replied softly. With this reassurance, Xiao Yan stopped hesitating. He reached out towards the coffin in the chamber. As soon as his palm touched the coffin, a wave of extreme coldness rushed over him. Even with the protection of his heavenly flame, Xiao Yan barely resisted the chilling assault. He then increased the strength in his palm. The material of the coffin seemed to be stone, giving it a rare, icy cold feel. Xiao Yan increased his strength and instantly pried open the coffin. Boom, boom, boom. The moment Xiao Yan opened the stone coffin, countless terrifying forces erupted from within. The overwhelming forces surged from the coffin, rushing toward Xiao Yan's body. Xiao Yan immediately shouted, "Not good!" His anguished cries echoed through the chamber. Damn it! The Golden Dragon King appeared urgently, watching Xiao Yan clutch his head with both hands, shouting in agony. He was clearly anxious. Xiao Yan was overwhelmed by the mysterious power emanating from the coffin, his hands clutching his head as his screams filled the chamber. The lid of the coffin was now open, but Xiao Yan was in no position to investigate what lay inside, as those mysterious forces were attacking him the moment they emerged. Just as Xiao Yan lifted the lid, he had already formed dozens of protective layers with his vast, heavenly flame around his body, yet he still fell prey to it. These mysterious forces were unfamiliar, but they seemed to have similarities with spiritual power. Roar, roar, roar. A deafening dragon roar filled the chamber. It was none other than his master, the Golden Dragon King. As the mighty dragon roar echoed, many of the mysterious forces surrounding Xiao Yan's body were instantly dispersed. Xiao Yan, enveloped once again in milky white flames, gasped heavily, and the ancient ruler of heavenly flames slipped from his back, falling to the ground. What are these things? So terrifying, I was nearly controlled. Xiao Yan spoke weakly. When the mysterious forces from the coffin attached themselves to Xiao Yan, he felt a synchronized tremor within his soul sea, causing an excruciating headache. At the instant of the deafening dragon roar, even the dragon soul within the ruler felt an intense tremor in its bloodline, instinctively wanting to bow in reverence. How is this possible? The dragon soul regained its composure and stared furiously at a faint, ethereal soul floating in midair. There could be no mistake. Others might not recognize the terrifying dragon roar, but as a member of the dragon clan, the dragon soul certainly did. This roar clearly originated from deep within its bloodline, a direct suppression exclusive to their dragon clan leader's roar. And across the entire dragon clan, only 9 beings possessed and could produce this level of dragon roar. Among them, only one could unleash such terrifying power: the Golden Dragon King. Legend has it that the dragon god had 9 sons, each different, but the only certainty was that among the 9, the Golden Dragon King and the Silver Dragon King were the most powerful. They were the most formidable beings beneath the dragon god. In the past, the dragon soul had lived among the dragon clan but was tricked by humans and ended up here. The sight of the golden dragon was something the dragon soul would never forget. It was the most prominent statue always standing in the dragon clan square. And now, it was actually seeing the legendary Golden Dragon King up close. The dragon god, rightfully so, was undoubtedly a supreme Doshin-level powerhouse. Therefore, the Golden Dragon King, within the dragon clan, symbolized the strongest being beneath the dragon god. Moreover, the dragon clan was known for being the most united of all races. No wonder the dragon soul was so shocked. After all, the dragon soul was merely a member of the dragon clan, whereas the Golden Dragon King was the supreme leader of the clan. "Long he pays respects to the Golden Dragon King," the dragon soul exclaimed, disregarding Xiao Yan's restriction. It immediately broke free from the seal of the ancient ruler of heavenly flames and knelt before the Golden Dragon King, a gesture of the highest honor in the dragon clan. "Heh, I've been discovered, haven't I?" the Golden Dragon King muttered, looking at the dragon soul beside the ancient ruler of heavenly flames. "Rise," the Golden Dragon King said slowly. "Clan leader, why are you?" With its keen perception, the dragon soul naturally sensed that there was something extraordinary about the relationship between the Golden Dragon King and this young human. "The battle 10,000 years ago, I lost." Although the Golden Dragon King spoke lightly, Xiao Yan could clearly feel a tremendous surge of power within his master's body at that moment. "Clan leader, no matter what you do, the entire dragon clan is proud of you. Clan leader, please return to us." The dragon soul pleaded with earnest eyes. "I can't return just yet. Besides, this young man before you is the one I've chosen," the Golden Dragon King stated firmly. Upon hearing this, all of the dragon soul's arrogance and dissatisfaction vanished completely. Looking at Xiao Yan, Long Yi seemed to make a decisive choice and then said, "I'll take my chances on him." After saying this, it returned to the ancient ruler of heavenly flames. Simultaneously, Xiao Yan noticed that the flame power within the ancient ruler of heavenly flames had grown even stronger, and he could sense that from this moment on, Long Yi had truly submitted to him. Though Xiao Yan didn't fully understand what had transpired, he knew this was undoubtedly due to the influence of his master, the Golden Dragon King. Xiao Yan then bowed deeply to his master, picked up the ancient ruler of heavenly flames, and approached the now open coffin. "Rest assured, I will one day restore you to the mortal world."